Today, we're jumping into a life skill that is so important, but when we sometimes forget to actually teach our kids about, and that is personal space. It's way more than just some invisible bubble. It's really the foundation for feeling safe, for showing respect, and for building confidence. So let's get into how to talk about this in a really effective way.
I mean, think about it for a second. How do you know when someone is standing just a little too close for comfort? You don't pull out a ruler, right? You feel it. It's that invisible boundary we all have. Today, we're going to break down how we can teach our kids to recognize, to respect, and really importantly, to protect that bubble. So let's start with what this whole unspoken boundary thing is all about.
All right, first up, the unspoken boundary. It's one of those social rules that, as adults, we kind of get instinctively. But for kids, well, it's something that really needs to be spelled out for them, nice and clear.
And this, right here, this is the heart of it. This whole conversation isn't about, measuring the inches between two people. It's an emotional concept. It's all about a child learning that they have a right, an absolute right, to feel safe and comfortable in their own skin, and that feeling is totally valid and super important. So you might be wondering, why is this such a big deal to teach so early? Well, because this conversation, this simple idea of personal space, is actually the very first vital step towards a much bigger, much more important concept: consent. And this is the key. When we teach a child that they have a right to their own space, we're literally giving them the building blocks for bodily autonomy. They start to learn, hey, my body is my own, and I get to decide who comes into my space and how they do it. It's a game changer. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The goal here isn't just about making sure things go smoothly on the playground. No, the goal is long-term. We're giving our kids the tools and the confidence they're going to need to navigate relationships and protect their boundaries for their entire lives. Okay, so we know why it's so important. But how in the world do you actually explain this to a kid? Let's talk about how to define the bubble in a way that's simple and totally kid-friendly. The comfortable distance. I just love how simple and powerful that is. See, when you use a word like comfortable, it immediately connects the whole idea to their own feelings. It makes it personal, not just some random rule they have to follow. And this part is absolutely crucial to the conversation. This is not a one-size-fits-all rule. What feels totally fine and comfortable for one kid might feel way too close for another. Teaching this helps them develop empathy and respect for how other people feel too. Now, what's really cool is that our bubble isn't static. It's dynamic. It literally changes depending on who we're with. We might love a huge, cozy hug from mom or dad, but we'd want a lot more space when we're meeting someone for the first time. This helps kids start to understand all the little nuances of social situations. And of course, that need for space changes as they grow up. That toddler who was happy to climb all over everyone might turn into a young kid who'd much rather give a high five. And then that kid might become an older child who doesn't even want hugs from close family. And guess what? That's a totally normal and healthy part of them figuring out who they are. It's something for us to respect, not to take personally. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's get to the most important part, the how. What can you actually do, starting today, to teach and reinforce this idea? Here are 4 key things. First, just talk about it. Ask them what feels good and what doesn't. Second, give them the actual words to use. Third, and this is so big, empower them to use those words and show them that their boundaries will be respected. And finally, you've got to model it yourself. Our kids are always watching how we interact with others. Let's really zero in on that second point for a second, giving them the language. Just telling a kid it's okay to say no often isn't enough. We have to give them a script, the specific words they can pull out and use right in the moment. This is a perfect example. It's polite, it's crystal clear, and it's assertive without being aggressive. It's just a simple statement of, here's how I feel, followed by a request, and here's what I need. Practicing phrases like this can make a world of difference. Oh, I love this one. This is like a pro-level move because it does something so powerful. It offers an alternative. This makes it so much easier for a kid to set a boundary. They aren't just saying no, they're redirecting the interaction to something they are comfortable with. It's a brilliant strategy. So, if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this.
Our job is to empower our kids. That means giving them the tools, the words, and our unwavering support so they know, deep down, that their feelings about their own body and their own space are always, always valid.
We've covered a lot here, from what the bubble is to the exact words kids can use to protect it. But all this knowledge is only powerful if we put it into action. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What conversation, even a small one, are you going to start with your child today to start building that foundation of respect and consent?